Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of ZymCast. My name is Chase.
My name is Kyle.
I'm Cheyenne. Hi.
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 That's Cheyenne. Hi.
My stupid camera wasn't working, so I have to use the webcam camera.
Wow, your life is so difficult. Welcome to my life.
I mean, yours looks good, but you're using an actual webcam. This is a computer, like a laptop webcam.
Yeah. I mean, yours doesn't look bad for a webcam, for an integrated webcam.
Yeah, you're right.
I know.
It's funny. No, it doesn't look bad from this perspective, and probably in Discord too. But like, because it's Cheyenne's laptop, whenever she uses it, and like through any other interface, like it looks good from what you're seeing of yourself. But when it transmits, it looks terrible, and I'm super confused as to why.
Oh, speaking
Because
of
it's
which,
sending it at 3 something p, and it's like,
Well,
but not even like a logical number. It's like 314p.
Yeah. But then I used like my actual camera, and then like it looked fine. Well, I guess actually still was downscaled, but it's just such high quality that downscaling it is still good.
Don't matter. So how you been this week, Chase?
There. I've been okay, pretty good actually, pretty good.
Good.
I don't think much happened this week. I mean, we played D&D twice.
We did play D&D
and we're doing,
twice.
And again tomorrow, so like the span in which we're...
But then we won't be doing it for any of our regular days for weeks.
Yeah.
So that's part of why.
Mm-hmm. That's always fun.
Because you're busy, then I'm busy, then one of our other friends is busy.
Exactly.
Busy people.
I've also been playing a lot of Legends of Runeterra, as I do every week, and I say every week. But this time,
you got to check in.
I have advanced to Silver 2. Got out of Silver 4 finally.
I'm Gold 1, but it's cool. You just do no.
Imagine.
What would you do if I actually pull it up and I'm like, no, actually, I've been playing this whole time secretly.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's a really freaking fun game, Kyle. You should play it. You should try it.
You know what, Chase? I try exactly one game you've been telling me to play at a time.
I know.
So
yeah, you did. But I was undefeated yesterday out of like my close to 10 games. So
that's actually really good.
In ranked.
It's pretty.
Like, I am impressed. I feel like I was gonna sound facetious, so I had to take a second. Well done.
Yeah, my lose rate was 0% yesterday.
Nice.
My win rate though, because I tied for the first time
a lot.
No, once.
Oh,
and
okay.
I like it's pretty hard to tie in this game, and I've never tied before. I didn't even know you could tie, and then like the situation happened where like I was like it said tie game. I was like, what? So I didn't win that game, but I didn't lose it, so I'm still undefeated.
Undefeated, yeah. No, I mean, I got you. You had a 90% win rate yesterday and a 0% loss rate,
exactly.
Which would lead many people to go, what? Sorry, what now?
A 10% draw rate. Yeah. But yeah, speaking of games that you've tried that I advocate for.
So I have been playing the Elder Scrolls Online for the last couple of days.
Ooh, best MMO.
No, it's not. But so I've not put in like an exceedingly large amount of time. I probably put in like 10 to 15 hours, somewhere in there. I'm level 18. I've been just kind of fucking around doing my thing. Killing world bosses with random people that walk by. Just doing whatever. Doing some main story, doing some like area story stuff. I'm having a good time. I am really enjoying the game. I had already owned it. Yeah. I've owned this game technically for like a year and a half. I just never played it.
You know the base game?
Yeah, just base game. Which is frustrating because like, okay, one quick thing I do want to say. It's like, so you can either do like the subscription model, which is like $15 a month, or like less if you're going to pay for like a bigger period of time. To get like all of the like extra location packs and stuff for free. Mm-hmm. And not for free, but like bundled in with this subscription. Or you can get just crowns, which you pay for to buy these things. Mm-hmm. They're so fucking expensive. Well, oh my God.
But on their own, yes. The thing is, and that I've always advocated for, and I still will, is if you're going to play ESO and you think like you'll play it for any amount of time, you want to experience the content, especially the newest content, always buy the newest expansion. Because it comes with all of the previous expansions, and it's $60 always. That being said, there's a difference between DLC and expansions.
Yes.
Because the expansions will they'll add another zone, like a big zone, and then a main storyline, and a bunch of other things. But then there are little DLC sprinkled out throughout the year that will also sometimes add zones, but very infrequently, and add like other like they're mostly dungeons, like extra dungeons that you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was a DLC pack. I wanted to get the Morrowind one because I love Morrowind.
Yeah, that's the first expansion.
It is because it was marked as a DLC pack in the game.
I don't know. It comes with base game now. If you buy base game, it comes with Morrowind. Yeah.
Do you know how much it costs?
I don't know. Like $30 probably.
Yeah. $30.
Yeah, I think each expansion on its own is $30, which is why I will always say buy the latest expansion because you'll get the rest for free. And
yeah, I'm just like,
yeah, it's a weird model.
Yeah, I'm just like, that is so much money that, yeah, I think what I'll do is I'm just going to play the stuff I want to play. And then, like, in the base game. But then, like, yeah, I'm just going to subscribe to ESO Plus for a month and just bust through Morrowind just to relive part of my childhood.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, fuck you, game. But, okay, so talking about the game itself and not about its pricing scheme, which is all over the place. I think it's fun. I mean, it is definitely a weird amalgamation of base, like, Elder Scrolls and MMO-esque concepts.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Elder Scrolls games. And so, like, you know, running around in big open areas that I hadn't had before, a bunch of quests to do, you know, that sort of shit. It's fine. I have mostly played this game as a single player game.
Yeah. Which is like, you can do, which is like...
Yeah, almost everything in the game you can do all on your own. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, has been fine. It's just, it's weird because it's like... It's like... Okay, so here's my opinion of the game, because I have done like public dungeons, and I did do a private dungeon with a group of people I was matched with.
That's funny because I've never done a public dungeon.
Oh, you've never done a public dungeon?
I don't think so.
Oh, I did the first one available in my main area. It was pretty fun. I just, I was just doing my thing, hunted down all the thing, because I wanted to get the achievement for. It was one of the achievements for my area was killing all the lieutenants in that thing. But. So like, because I wanted to experience a lot of the different things, and I did some battlegrounds, and I did Cyrodiil for a little bit. Yeah, so I was popping around, and I wanted to experience or at least get a taste of everything the game has to offer. So my overall impression of this game is it's not sure what it wants to be.
Okay.
I feel like the biggest detriment this game has is it wants really badly to cater to the people that like just playing the Elder Scrolls games. Like, they love Skyrim. They want more thing that kind of feels like Skyrim. But at the same time, they also need to, cater to, like, the MMO content. And it has, like, this weird middle ground where I don't think it works 100%. Because, like, if I were just wandering around and having a good old time, like, in a single-player game, that would be fine. But the game is built around, having, like, your different abilities that you get as you level up and stuff and building out your loadouts. It pisses me off how few fucking skill slots there are.
Yeah, it's once you reach level 15, then you get the second bar, but each bar is 5 slots plus an ultimate. Which, yeah, it is very, like, that was one thing that I was like kind of I was on the fence when I first started, I think, because I don't know. Like, I played a lot of other MMOs. Like here and there, like Arcade or Final Fantasy XIV, or like other types of like Eastern MMOs, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And it always tripped me up in those kind of games, having so many ability slots and having so many abilities. I'm like, I'm like overwhelmed. I don't know, like, my rotation unless like you specifically research into like, okay, what skills should I be casting when, like, how, whatever. So like that was like, it was a lot to read too, because like every skill really has like a description of what it does, and like it's a lot of like math or not really math, but just like thinking about like, oh, what works best with this skill, like how they go together and synchronize. And then when I played ESO, like there was only 5, and at first I was like, oh, that's limiting, but at the same time, like, it gets the job done. Like I think it is effective in that it's not too much to worry about in combat. And you also have light attacks and heavy attacks you can do, and blocking, and then
dodging and all that stuff you can do without. Yeah, but okay. So I wouldn't 100% disagree with that, except for the progression system. So my problem with it is, so like I'm playing as a tanky build with like the dragon whatever class.
Dragonite.
Yeah. And like that's kind of like, you know, I went with that choice because I wanted to do like a tankier sort of character. There's only one actual build in that's actually qualified as a tank, which I'm like, oh, that's kind of surprising. But the problem is with this tank build, because they have like the recommended build settings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or you can just do whatever you want, which I do like. I really like that. But like looking at like the recommended options, like reading through all the skills that are available to me and stuff. So the way it works basically is you gain experience, obviously like levels you up, but also for the skills that you have equipped in your skill slots, you level up like those skill types.
Yeah.
Basically, right?
Yeah,
like like the various skill trees and stuff. Like you gain levels in those too. You need to get to certain level thresholds for that to unlock different abilities. It all makes sense. But for my build that I was doing, like I only had 5 slots. I'm trying to be a tank. Like I have certain moves I need to get to. But also there are certain moves way late in other trees that I need that are going to be really good.
Yeah.
And so I am forced right now to be playing as a suboptimal build so I can eventually grind up to get the skills I need, even though I don't want these skills. And like I don't want to use them, but I need them to take up skill slots that I have so I can get to the shit I like. And that pisses me the fuck off.
I could see that too.
It's like that was some, and then so I unlocked my second my second bar with like the alternate weapons or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's fine. I'll just equip like the same shit, and I'll just be able to like swap over. But you do not gain experience for the skills that are in your other bar unless you're using it.
Yeah, if it's your active bar is when.
Yeah, you only gain your active bar, and so I'm like, fuck, this doesn't help me at all. And so that was kind of driving me a little bit crazy. Overall, I am enjoying the game quite a bit. I mean, I played the shit out of it over the last couple days. Like, I am having fun. It's just like it feels like because of that too. Like the game expects you to have a build when you're wandering around, like battling enemies or whatever. This shit is not hard, but it's like you get into a battle with a couple people, you want to be able to like do your shit. But just the way that the skill trees are set up and stuff, and the way they're kind of like all over the place with a bunch of different varied abilities in each of them, it does make it so that like I need to be suboptimal to eventually get optimal. And that is frustrating. And it also makes it so that just running around the world and fighting shit is more annoying than it should be. And it just makes me wish I was just playing a single player Elder Scrolls game where I could just feel like, well, okay, I just have magic ring. I'm just shooting fire at you, or I'm just attacking things. And the game isn't expecting me to use a wide series of abilities to be able to overcome these enemies I'm fighting.
Right.
It's kind of like this weird middle ground because like at its peak, I think this is more fun than just like swinging your attack thing and guarding against just like random enemies in Skyrim. Skyrim combat is not good. I mean, let's be honest, it's not.
It's just swinging.
It's there and it serves its purpose. No one's playing for Skyrim because like I love the way the battles feel. But it's built to be like that. To where like it's kind of scaled to be like that's how we play. Mm-hmm. Whereas like this game is scaled to be like you're using a bunch of different skills, you're having a lot of different abilities and stuff. But since I have to play suboptimally, I'm kind of at a disadvantage at the game itself because I want to play the game a certain way. And it's partially on me, admittedly, but it's a little annoying. And it was kind of pissing me off towards the end there. And I'm just like, I just wish I could be using the skills I have that I want to use, but I really need to be going down the skill tree because this ability would be amazing for what I'm trying to do.
Right. And
that sort of crap.
I think it also depends on, well, one, the way that you're trying to play, and then also the class you choose to play that, because every class has 3 different trees you can go through, and they all cater to a different play style.
Yeah, I didn't know that when I went in. And again, this is partially on me. This is partially on the game not explaining that.
Yeah.
But no, because what threw me off at the beginning of the game was having to pick like one of the starting classes. I'm like, oh, wasn't expecting that. Okay. Because what I kind of was expecting was a much more freeform, and to be fair, it is very freeform.
Yeah.
Like you can gain basically all of the abilities in the game, just not counting like the class abilities or your racial abilities, like depending on what you choose at the beginning. It's just those class abilities are very important for catering how you play and stuff like that. But like a lot of my abilities I use admittedly are like my sword and shield skills and stuff like that. That is not a part of my class. And so like, that's some of it. But like some of my class abilities are really cool for what I want to do. And I just need to like, I've droned on about this. My other main problem with playing this game, and this was a big one.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is just me feeling this way. And again, you haven't played with a bunch of people a lot, so I don't know how much you've dealt with this. Playing with people is pure fucking chaos.
How so?
Okay, so you play most MMOs, and it's a third-person camera zoomed back pretty far.
Yeah.
You have a good surveying of the battlefield. You have a generally good idea of what's going on. It's still gonna be a lot of chaos, a lot of like effects throwing around. But like you have a general good idea of where all your allies are, what the situation with them is, all that sort of shit. Okay, so technically you can play this game in third person.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like you can play in third person.
The camera's really close behind you, and it doesn't make much of a difference.
Well,
and at least on PlayStation 4, there's no way to zoom it back.
Oh. Yeah, there's a way of zooming it on PC. You can go,
not that I could figure out. I was looking
you can
through
be
the settings.
close or pretty far away.
Yeah, I was looking through settings and shit, and I could not figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And so maybe that's just a PlayStation 4 version of it, because that's the one I'm playing on, because that's where I had the game, because I got it for free 1 month. But again, I never bought this game. I got it for free. But you just like, so when I'm trying to tank people, it's just a fucking cacophony of things running around and flying around. It's the same problem when I'm playing in multiplayer, to be fair, but I was expecting that. But like, dude, like trying to keep track of like where the zone of attacks for enemies are can be a little bit difficult if I'm not playing in third person. And I want to play the game in first person because it feels better.
Yeah.
And when I'm just wandering around like the game by myself, I'm always playing in first person. I'm just keeping an eye on the ground to like look for the cones or whatever. It's not ideal because occasionally like I just don't see it because I'm looking at the enemy and not at the ground, which is like blocked off.
You can change the color as well, so it'd be like neon, like really bright.
That might be a better option.
Yeah.
But the problem is, when I was playing with a party and my goal as a tank was like to keep aggro and like balance the battlefield, like it was really fucking hard to keep track of the battlefield because there's just like a lot of crap going on. People are behind me out of my view. I'm like rotating around enemies to try and see. It's just like, I'm just like, this isn't working. And so I jumped to third person when I figured out how to do that. And it still wasn't working because it was like, I'm in third person, but like I'm now blocking a huge chunk of the screen and like I'm too close behind me to see what I want to see.
Why it's so close?
I don't know. Like it's the exact same view distance as like a regular Elder Scrolls game when you go into third person.
Oh,
which
no, that's
way too close.
Yeah. No, when I play, that's the same thing. I want to play in first person. But if I'm ever in combat with like multiple enemies or like in a bigger scale combat, I'll always zoom out. And like
and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is a way to zoom out, and that would totally alleviate this problem. But I could not figure out what it was on my controller. And I went into the options, I was looking up, I couldn't find it. So I'm like, shit. Also, the game never taught me how to get on my horse, which took a while for me to figure out. Like I have to hold the touchpad. Okay,
that's weird. Weird controls.
Yeah,
I just press H.
Yeah, that makes perfect fucking sense. A controller, much less buttons.
Yeah.
And so like some of their, configurations for making it work are creative to say the least. But I'm just like, hold the touchpad. Because like I got my horse at level 10, but I could not figure out how to get onto it until like level 12 or 13. The same was when the game never told me, I don't think, that the heavy attacks recharge your stamina.
Oh yeah.
That would have been helpful to know sooner.
I didn't know that either until really recently.
I figured that out when I was just paying attention to shit because I don't use heavy attacks very often, or I didn't, because I'm like, yeah, they do more damage, but like I don't think it's worth like the time used. But now that I know it gives me stamina back, which makes no goddamn sense in reality, I'm gonna use all my strength, and now I feel better.
Yeah, well, to be fair, in terms of like this game definitely does not hold your hand through stuff, but like on the other end of that spectrum, where it's like it probably should have a little bit more tutorial.
Also, not to mention that, like, there are definitely some glitches now with quests where, so I started the game in, oh god, I don't remember place names. The little island, the desert island sort of place with like you're found on the pirate ship or whatever.
What
Fact
race are
is,
you?
I am a red guard.
Oh, I don't know their starting locations.
Yeah, but so I started out there, and then I finished all the quests there. Everything was able to be done. At the end of that, you hop on their ship and you go to a different place. It was like an orc island. It was like another smaller area to kind of get you situated. Could not access the main story quest there. The person who's supposed to give you the quest was not there. I know this because I went in and I did like the story tracker for that area to point me at the NPC, and they did not exist. It was just an empty spot. And I was like, oh, cool, great. Is this a glitch? And so I transferred out, I transferred back, I logged out, logged back in. Guy would not show up. And so I went online, and people were like, yeah, this has been a glitch for like 6 months. It has not been fixed. The only way to get it done is to travel to your faction's like city, like their first main city, and then do the next main storyline quest at like the Harborage or whatever it's called. Go there, and then that'll activate the area from the thing. Obviously, the game does not tell me this because until you go to that first city, which I didn't want to do until I did everything here.
Exactly.
Until you go to that first city, it doesn't give you that quest.
Interesting.
And so I'm like, well, this is a problem that they have not addressed. Also, hilarious story problems. And I know this is because of expansions. The amount of prologue quests I've amassed, not realizing that's what they were, pissed me off.
Oh yes.
Because like all the DLC packs when they come out, like they give you like their first prologue quest, introduce you to the story for free, and then you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
I didn't know those were prologue quests, and so I'm just running around doing all these quests, and it's like, hey, if you want to know what happens next, pay us money. I'm like, well, fuck you.
Yeah, well, I mean, they do give you achievements and some.
I know.
Usually some like in-game items, but
no, they were useful, but it was still pissing me off. I'm like, oh, I thought I was doing a quest line that I could do all of. I mean, that's not a big deal. That wouldn't have been a problem. But the hilarious part is, so at the start of the game, you're in like Cold Harbor or whatever, and like you have to rescue the prophet, and yeah,
Dumbledore.
And yeah, right.
Yeah.
It took me a little bit.
No,
like,
it took me
I know
2
this
years.
voice. Oh, it did not take me that long.
I just found this out last month. Like,
okay.
No, like 2 weeks ago, probably.
Yes, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I know this voice. I 100% know who this actor is, but I don't know who this actor is. You know what I mean? Like, I know who this actor. And it was during when I went to the Harborage and he was like giving like his like the backstory explanation of the 5 companions and shit. I'm just like, that's fucking Dumbledore. Because I made it a mission to damn it. Whatever. I'm out of focus.
You made it a mission.
I made it a mission to try and figure out who the fuck that was. So I'm just listening. I didn't want to look it up because I wanted to win.
Yeah, I looked it up and I got spoilers for the main story quest.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Come on, Cameron.
No, actually, the Harborage quest, which is that main quest after like
the chapter 1.5.
I've never done that. I have never done the main story.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
I've done like everything else, every like others like zone quest, but
yeah. But okay, but at the start of the game, what's her face, voiced by Jennifer Hale, I recognized her immediately. Like she joins you for a little bit and then she like takes the prophet's place.
Oh, Lyris Titanborn?
Yes. I ran into her in the world.
Jennifer Hale? Oh.
She gave me one of those DLC quests.
Yeah,
despite the fact that she's still trapped there.
Yeah, Greymoor is the latest expansion. She's the main companion you have throughout that quest.
Yeah, I just walked into the Fighters Guild and she's like, "Hey, I have a job for you." I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
It's because all the expansions are chronological. So
I know they are.
You're supposed to play them in order.
I mean, that makes perfect sense. It's just hilarious that the game let that happen.
Yeah. There's like with continuity in terms of the expansions. It doesn't really address because it doesn't really have a way to address it because if you want to just go into Greymoor, like she needs to be out.
And that makes perfect sense. Yeah. I get that. I do. And I do think this is a good system where it's like you can go wherever you want. You can do the content whatever order you want. Like you can you're free to experience it however you want. If you want this new content, you can play a fucking brand new character, send them over there. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I like that. I do. I think that's a really cool idea. Obviously, that's going to cause continuity issues if you also want to tell a chronological story that has any stakes whatsoever. But I'm like, I just walked into the Fighters Guild and I'm like, twin sister maybe? And it's like, I'm like, nope, that's just you. And so I talked to her and I did a little work with her, and then I went to the Harbridge quest. The prophet's like, we need to save her from Cold Harbor. I'm like, she's fine, bro.
Yeah,
I just talked to her. She's wandering around. She's doing great. And so I had a good chuckle about that. I was like, oh my goodness. Well done, game. But I mean, I get it. It wasn't like, oh, my immersion is broken, but it was just like,
no, this
funny.
A major thing I like about this game also is that all the dialogue is 100% voice acted.
Yes.
And they have some really good voice actors.
They do. And they have them repeat a lot of
Yeah, some of the
I'm like,
smaller characters.
I'm like, oh, hey, Steve Bloom. I just talked to you with somebody entirely different 10 minutes ago. It was like, and there are definitely people I'm like, there you are again. There you are again. But you're all good and you're doing a great job. So it doesn't actually bother me. It was just like chuckle worthy. I'm like, I guess that's going to be a problem when you want good voice acting. You want every character in the game voiced. You're going to repeat some people.
Yeah, every single character in the game is voiced. Like, even if you're like walking on the street and they might say something.
NPC,
yeah, if you talk to a random NPC, they'll make a noise.
Yep, and it's great. It is great. Like, that's awesome. No doubt. The game. I think the design is really. Did I get all glitched?
Yeah, you cut out. You said the game.
The game is really good. The production values are really great. Like, I really love the presentation of it. I love how much there is to do in every area, and how easy it is to see what you haven't done.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's really cool. I like opening up the map and just having all of those bars. I like being able to open up like the actual like the chunk in the journal about that area and like get little hints about where things are, get a checklist of everything you do and don't have. I think that's really cool and really user friendly. Like, there's a lot of this game I like. I'm really enjoying this game. It's just in terms of an MMO experience, I would rather play Final Fantasy XIV. I'm playing this game about as anti-MMO as I can, because when I've done the MMO-esque things of playing with other people, working together with them, it has not gone well. It's been a clusterfuck.
Well, you don't need to. That's the good thing.
I know I don't. It's just that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I'm really enjoying this game. It's just, if I'm evaluating it as an MMO, I think Final Fantasy XIV is a much better game in that regard. Because it's a game that you can play primarily by yourself, like most of that game. But when like you have to do the story quests and stuff, that do require you to play with people, I think it's orchestrated really well. I think it's set up very well, and I think the game is designed in such a way it's very clean and clear and easy to understand everything that's going on. Whereas ESO is a goddamn clusterfuck when that shit's going on.
Well, yeah. So when it comes to like, so multiplayer stuff and PvP stuff, that's mostly what I haven't done. Yeah, like everything story-wise, I'll usually do single player, like by myself. Mm-hmm. Me too. All those quests, because that's like I really enjoy the quest lines and the story.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, and like just experiencing the zones and just like all the base game zones are okay, but mostly the expansions. Like, obviously, more time goes on, the more resources they have, and like better, also like better graphics kind of in I mean, it's like not a huge difference, but like in Elsewhere, beautiful zone, and it looks like really good, which is the latest expansion before Great War that just came out. But with PvP stuff, I never did Battlegrounds because that game mode wasn't introduced until Morrowind. And I played a good chunk of the game before Morrowind came out, when it was just base game, is when I played like a lot of it. And then Morrowind came out, I pre-ordered it, and then never really played it. I pre-ordered every expansion, whether or not I've played them. Because also pre-ordering it gives you bonuses and stuff like that.
Makes sense.
And I've gotten collector's editions for, I got for Somerset, and they came with a little Mephala statue, actually pretty big statue.
It's cool.
Yeah, it is cool, right? And so that's like kind of the reason I got those, was just like for the collectible stuff, and then also in-game collectible stuff. But I never played Battlegrounds because Morrowind came out. That's when I stopped playing for a while, and then I didn't really start playing. Oh, I pre-ordered Somerset Collector's Edition with that statue, and then still didn't play the game really until this like a year after Elsewhere came out, which was like a year and a half ago now, I think. And that's kind of where I dove back into the Elsewhere chapter, which was super good in my opinion. And that's mainly where I was playing ESO, was for the like PvE single player content. And then there's also the PvP stuff, which is pretty big, like Battlegrounds, but then also Cyrodiil, because I did play Cyrodiil in the base game, which is the big PvP zone where you like just like take over and
buildings and castles and
castles. And
it's the giant PvP area.
Yeah, and that was pretty fun.
But
I think it's less popular now just because there are other PvP game modes. That was the only PvP game mode at the time.
It's actually still pretty popular. There's a couple different options of it now.
Oh.
Most of which like didn't have long wait times, but one of them, which I did not do because I'm like, that sounds intimidating, had like a 5-minute wait just to get in. And so I mean, it's not huge, but it definitely shows like there's still a decent chunk of people playing.
Oh, yeah. From what I've seen from people saying, like there's less people than there used to be in Cyrodiil.
That makes sense.
That's also because like they're doing other PvP stuff, or like there's like trials and stuff. I think trials are PvE, but like there's just the more
it's like the high end player
content.
stuff.
Yeah, like the end game players will do like all those kind of game modes, as opposed to like just story questing or Cyrodiil. But
I heard like a knocking sound.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like somebody knocking on my door, but it sounded like somebody doing something inside.
Well, but those game modes, apparently I've heard are really fun, but I haven't really dove into it.
Makes sense. I mean, again, I primarily play MMOs and do like PvE content because I don't love playing against other players. Like, I really, it is. I do like playing with other players, as long as I don't feel like I'm holding everybody back, which is always my big terror.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm letting you all down. Always my terror whenever I like boot up a dungeon in 14 because I'm the healer. I'm just like,
yeah. That was me at E3 when Final Fantasy XIV. Like, I forget what was coming out.
Was that Shadowbringer?
I think
that was going to be Shadowbringers.
Yeah, it was. And like at E3, they always have like a big.
Always had.
They always
That's
had.
Depressing.
Basically, a dungeon that you go through, with other players, like 8. I think it's one of those dungeons.
Yeah, it's gonna be a full dungeon.
Yeah, full dungeon. With like 8 people, and I hopped in with this group because I wanted to play it before I left E3. Like I just wanted I want to experience this. I played Final Fantasy XIV, but I was by myself, and I hopped in this group as their tank, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to hold them back. I think I wasn't the weakest link, so I feel good in that regard.
I mean, the good news when you're playing with a bunch of random people is like most of them probably won't be that good. They're more just curious about trying out the game or like trying out the new content, but like they probably won't know a lot of the new skills. They probably won't know a lot of the new stuff. Yeah. So you're at least going in blind with a bunch of people. It's not like a guy's like, this is my daily rotation. I've done this dungeon 37,000 times.
That's
what the fuck are you doing?
That's the thing. People will this dungeon specifically because you get merch if you beat the boss. Yeah. So people will go multiple times, get back in line, and like they know the rotation and everything, like, and they like grind for this throughout like for an entire day or 2 days to just like beat this boss.
Oh my gosh.
And so like we were trying, I think you get like 3 chances and then you leave.
Yeah.
And then you have to get back in line. But we were like pretty close one of the turns, which is always like the most disappointing. But we were the last group to go of that. I think that was the last day too. So it was like the last group to ever go. And we're like, we're not doing it again.
That sucks. But hey, you played it. It was the last time you played Final Fantasy XV.
Yeah, I think it was.
I promise you it was. This was after you stopped playing. I remember being frustrated at you because you played Shadowbringers before I could, but you weren't playing the game, and you have not played it since.
No.
And so...
No.
Yeah, wow. You didn't even log in?
No.
Oh.
No. Because I think I stopped my subscription at that point. because I was like, I'm just putting money into a game that I don't play.
I played it a couple weeks ago.
Oh, well, actually, I was also thinking about with ESO. I realized because you said that you started as a red guard.
Yeah.
I realized when I got Cheyenne to play ESO, like she played the tutorial area, and she played as a dark elf, and that is the Ebonheart Pact. I think so. It was a different starting area, and I was like, oh, and I went back like out to my characters, and I realized I've only played Aldmeri Dominion. All 6 of my characters are Aldmeri Dominion.
What the fuck, man? No branching out at all?
I thought I don't know if there was a reason. I mean, like when I first played through, like with my main character for like the story, the Aldmeri Dominion, like I love the story for that, and Queen Irene. I was like, I'm loyal to the cause, loyal to Queen Irene, to my queen. And mind you, this is the first Aldmeri Dominion, not those fucking asshole racists in Skyrim. Yeah. But then when I made new characters, I was just like, oh, I made a high elf. I made a
branching out at all.
Like another wood elf, I think, because there's like every alliance has 3 races within that alliance.
And then there's Imperials if you get them that you can play as anybody.
Yeah.
And then there's that upgrade you can get where you can play as any race for any group, and then
But yeah, then I play as Khajiit. That's my main character now. And they're all Aldmeri. So I'm like, yeah, because there's the Khajiit, which are cat people.
Okay.
Yeah. There's the high elves and wood elves. Those 3 make up the Aldmeri Dominion. Then there is dark elves, Nords,
Dark elves,
and Argonians, the lizard people.
Yeah.
That make up the Ebonheart Pact. And then red guards, Bretons, and orcs.
Yeah.
Make up the Daggerfall Covenant.
Yep.
Yeah. So I like know nothing about any of those, even of those like areas, because I mostly stay within Dominion areas. So like I've actually limited myself a lot.
So,
but there's still so much content that I've like gone
not
through.
done.
Yeah.
Well, at least you know that when you're done with that content, you have more.
There's so much content.
Can you go to other regions
Yes.
that aren't part of your...
You can go wherever. But the thing about that also is that on the border regions, there will be open war between like... Because like that's in the lore, like there's the 3 banners war. They're like all 3 factions are warring against each other for control of Cyrodiil and the Imperial throne. And so like on the border areas, regions, there'll be like troops from the region you're in, and then the neighboring region, which will be a different faction. And so the neighboring regions and troops are enemies, but they're enemies no matter what. Like if you're a member of the Dominion and like racially, and you go to a zone that is part of the Daggerfall Covenant and you're on that border state, the Daggerfall troops will be friendly, but then you'll have Dominion troops attack you, which is like that. I'm like, I have a little bit of an issue with,
I mean, just to have it work, they kind of would need to do that. But yeah, that's pretty funny.
I was like, oh, I guess they think that you're like,
yeah, they must just assume you're an enemy, a traitor.
Yeah. But I'm like an agent of the Queen herself, you bastards.
It's a lie. Don't believe him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I'm liking the game. I plan on playing it more. It's just, this wasn't just a thing. I'm just going to talk about this a little bit for the podcast. Like, I plan on playing it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I've said some negative things about the game, but like the things I've said are basically like my only negatives about the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's fun. I like it. I just, it is sitting in this weird ground where it's not quite a single player Elder Scrolls game, and it's not quite the kind of MMO I want it to be.
That's
but it's a game with a bunch of things to check off in boxes, and that's just my jam.
Mm-hmm. And then they just added in Greymore like an archaeology type.
Yeah, I heard about that.
like, what's the word?
I don't know.
Archaeology.
I wasn't gonna say like event or adventure, but like mechanic, I guess. Yeah, mechanic.
I guess.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's like a new mechanic in game where you can. I haven't really done it at all, so I don't really know much about it. But I think you can
You
like
can't speak about it.
dig
Any...
up artifacts and like get
really good items, right?
Do you trade them in for bells?
for bells. No,
No,
This isn't
that's a
Animal Crossing.
different game, Cheyenne. Yeah, but from what I've heard, you excavate things and you can, and they can end up being like all sorts of different shit, like furniture, weapons, armor.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it's a really good way to earn money in the game that doesn't involve you being part of a trade guild that is apparently quite a nightmare in that game to be, because that's apparently the only way you can use the auction house is like being part of a guild that has access to trading.
So the way that the like auction house or in-game trading works is you have to be a part of a guild, like a trading guild, and then in most cities, there will be a few stalls for merchants, for guild merchants, but they're like your guild has to bid on that merchant. And at the end of the week, the guild with the highest bid gets that merchant for the week, and then that merchant will sell your guild stuff. But keep in mind, there are like hundreds of cities throughout the entire game. So like, and your the trader I think is only in that one city. So it's interesting. But so like the bigger guilds will have like the better like the main faction cities guild traders, because like that's where a lot of players are going through. But if you're ever in like another city like questing, then it's like, oh, the guild trader here has items from this guild or whatever.
That just sounds needlessly complicated.
I don't think so. The thing I think that is interesting is the housing, though. Compared to other MMOs, like I'm thinking of like Final Fantasy specifically.
Did you ever even have a house in Final Fantasy?
No, but that's the thing. Like in Final Fantasy, there are the housing zones. Like there's specific areas that with like all houses. In ESO,
with like plots of land.
Plots of land, and you have your house. But in ESO, there are pre-built houses throughout the world that are in certain cities, or sometimes it's like outside of a city, like in the middle of nowhere. And you can purchase those homes, and it's basically like it's a shared home.
Yeah, it's like an instance.
It's an instance home. Yeah, so it's like
other places. So everybody could own this house.
Yeah,
yeah.
But it's gonna be when you go inside, it's your house.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that like you're always given a starter house, and that's an in room at your.
That's
like
what I get.
Yeah, your main city mostly, unless you like go to a different like you start in a different place, you can get that room instead, but only if you don't have a room already. And then like that's your little starter room. You can put furniture in it, but I mean you probably don't get furniture for a while.
I mean, I have a bed.
Oh,
and a cog.
Yeah.
I got it as a drop from fighting an enemy.
Yeah. What I didn't know, because I always assumed that you only get housing by purchasing it with gold, and they're usually like a large sum of gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive. Especially like the really big ones are pretty expensive. But I didn't know you can also be awarded them in quest lines. Because in the main quest line for Elsewhere, you're given a home towards like the end of the quest line. And it's actually a pretty good home, because like it's the Hall of the Lunar Champion. You go in, it's like a temple, and then there are altars, and by completing like more of the quests in that quest line, you get like little I guess they're kind of artifacts that you put you put specifically on an altar, and then it opens a portal, and then you can go through the portal, and it's like a whole other room, like a whole other like big area that you have within that home. I was like, oh, this is a very interesting home. But yeah, and then there are other homes where it's like a mansion, or there are homes that are like pretty small and like pretty humble. And I think I like ESO's housing better. Just like the idea of it, because like, well, with
14.
with 14, like you have to journey to, like, it's pretty, like, well, it's outside the city.
Every one of the major, well, most of the major like cities for each of the factions and stuff. Because in 14, all of the basically major cities, there's one for each of the factions, and then with expansions and stuff, they sometimes add in like, and there's always a major city, but sometimes they add in like another housing district.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's always a housing district outside of that town that you can go to, and it's just a big sprawling area.
Yeah.
So there's the apartments, which just have a fucking practically infinite amount of rooms that you can rent. But then there's the actual main areas, which have actual housing plots. And there are a limited number of these plots.
Yeah.
And it can definitely turn into a bit of a fight and they're not cheap. And yeah, you definitely have to like struggle and endeavor to afford them.
It's almost like buying a real house.
And then
you have to like wait until one goes out, like a plot opens up and then.
Yep, because they get opened up because if you don't play for 3 months, you lose your house. And if you don't log in for a solid 3 months, you lose your house. That's what happened to me.
Oh.
Yeah, I owned a small home at one point in that game.
Oh, well, that would be really valuable now.
Yeah, it would. But then also I had a bunch of furniture in there that I had furnished. 6 months after you lose your house, so 9 months of it not playing, because for 6 months it's put into like a storage place you can go and get it. I stopped playing the game for 9.5 months.
Oh god.
And I lost all of my furniture in my house. That was over 1 million gil gone.
You got foreclosed.
Oh.
I did. It was terrible. Okay, it wasn't quite 1 million gil. I think it was like 600,000 or 700,000 gil that I had worked really hard to earn.
Wow.
There's a lot of money in that game, especially when you're playing solo without a guild. And I lost it. It was much sadness.
He lost his home.
I lost my home. I'm homeless in that game.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that in ESO because you can just buy the same house that people have.
Exactly, they don't care.
There are a lot of them.
But what that does, I mean, it's cool. It both work.
Mm-hmm.
It really just depends on
the main issue I also had with Final Fantasy XIV was like it's such a hike to like get through those districts, and there's like I remember walking through them, I got so turned around and confused. I'm like, how, like,
it's actually not. To be fair,
to me it was.
You can warp directly to the district, and then there are warp points scattered all around the district to teleport really close to wherever your house might be.
Oh.
So like in each area, there's like 16 different warp points that you can use from the crystal to warp to different spots. It's actually very easy to get around.
Oh.
It's how it goes.
Well.
Did you ever even go inside of a house?
I think so.
Just went to somebody's house, like, hey dude, I'm coming in.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah, I when I played for the first time, I was part of a guild that very much like that had a house that was like full of a bunch of different stuff. Like once you start up as a guild, like you need a house. It's very convenient too, because yeah, you can like buy like you can basically pay for merchants to be in your home and stuff. And so when I was part of that guild, we had like all of the different merchants for like all of the different crafting materials you need all in there. So I could just be there. I was just like working and like, oh, I'm out of this shit, buy it. Oh, I'm out of this shit, buy it. Turn like nice little profits, go to the auction house. There's an auction house spot that's not too far from all of the housing districts and stuff that you could run to. It's good stuff. I do not like this fucking trading system in Elder Scrolls Online now that I hear about it. I know you said that doesn't sound convoluted. That sounds like the most convoluted thing I've ever fucking heard, Chase.
Well, I mean, if you want to sell, then yeah, it's a little. But I mean, some of like those bigger guilds are just open. Like you can just join the guild and then.
I get that. Yeah. That's not the problem. The problem here is I'm not even thinking about like trying to sell shit. First of all, that sounds like a nightmare in and of itself. But like most MMOs, you go to the auction house, you take your item you want to sell, you put it up for sale. People can search a directory of items and they can just see the shit they're looking for a bunch of criteria, and then they can buy it. It sounds like in this, if what you said is true, it sounds like you have to just go around to places like, hey, I'm going to stop at this guild shop. Do they have anything I want? Nope. Oh, well, I'm going to go to this guild shop. Do they have anything I want? Nope.
To be fair, yes, kind of. Because
that doesn't sound great.
Well, it depends because if you're in a major city, which I mean most of the time you probably will be, or at least be able to get you pretty quickly, You can probably bet on the guild traders having what you want, because a lot of the guilds, while some specialize in like certain items, they'll mostly have like every item, and you can just search through the directory of like, oh, do you have this one? It's like, no, but there's like 5 traders. My microphone just fell.
That was random.
It's like 5 traders in an area, like surrounding. So I'll just like, I'll stop here, talk to him, search an item. He doesn't have it. Go to the next one. To be fair though, I think on console I saw, like if you're in an area with a guild trader, you talk to the guild trader, you can then just in the menu you can just navigate through all the guild traders in the immediate area.
I haven't tried, to be fair. Again, it's just working off your
Cheyenne's
opinion.
trying to fix the microphone.
This is amazing. It's been so long since you've had a mic fall.
I know. I don't know how that happened.
I don't have that problem at all.
Right. It's just because we're on a cheap table, and it's like it doesn't
I know.
Have a nice seat.
It really is the cheap table.
It really is though, because mine at home. Well, one, I never take it off and put it back on, so it's always in the same place.
Yeah.
But like I've never had an issue with it. But it's also on like a sturdy wooden desk,
as opposed to
a flimsy
the
plastic
crappy
table.
white folding shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She didn't
Good
put it
times.
all the way, but okay.
Hey, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. And when you do it, you gotta do it halfway.
It's okay. It's okay. I think we're done now.
We're done now?
Oh no. I'm just gonna hold it like this.
Okay. Other things I've been up to this week.
That's right. It's been 50 minutes of ESO.
And we've talked about one thing I've done. So while I was playing ESO, I've been watching and consuming a lot of content on like my phone.
Yeah.
Like
a weirdo.
Dude, when you're playing a game on a computer or on a TV, it's much easier to just have something playing on your phone next to you.
To be fair, if I'm playing a game on a computer or TV,
Yeah, you have multiple monitors. I get it. I don't.
No, I was gonna say I never do it. I never watch any other media or listen to anything else because I'm focused on the game.
No,
I mean, I might have like a page of like Reddit open on my other monitor, but I won't usually.
It's weird. You have to read that. No, no, like, what the fuck? Am I crazy here? Like, I'm playing a game that's like not that mentally consuming, and there's a lot of downtime in between it where I'm just like running from place to place. Like, this doesn't require an intense amount of conversation. Like, I'll pause when I'm like in story cutscenes or whatever. Or like something's happening that I give a fuck about story-wise. But otherwise I'm just like, okay, whatever. Moving on, doing this quest, doing that quest. But I rewatched yesterday, I just had on my phone playing all 10 episodes. I just kind of re-binged through The Haunting of Hill House again.
That's so weird.
What? I mean, I've seen the show a couple times now. It does not require a lot of my focus.
I never rewatch things either, for the most part. Like a
You're
TV
weird.
It's also because he just doesn't watch many things, and so he can't waste the precious time he has watching
that's
stuff.
very true. Yeah,
rewatching things he's already seen.
I mean, to be fair, the thing that I would be like, I would actively want to rewatch and be really okay with would be Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I've done that.
Yeah, or we're gonna do it again.
I've done that a lot.
And like Lord of the Rings, or probably like Marvel movies, or like those kinds of movies that are like easy to watch, and Lord of the Rings specifically.
Okay, I see.
We know.
We get it.
Wow. Sending a message, I see.
Yeah.
He's still holding that thing because you need
He
to.
is.
Don't worry about it.
It's just support at this point.
Okay.
Oh no. It started to bend.
Nope, it's necessary.
It's necessary.
Dude, just spend time fixing it while I talk about myself.
I can tell it.
Okay. Other than that, I've been watching possibly the only good thing to come from BuzzFeed, which is BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Oh, and yeah.
Oh my
BuzzFeed
goodness,
Unsolved.
BuzzFeed Unsolved is the best thing ever.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they left BuzzFeed too, also, right?
Everyone recently
sort of. Like, it's weird. They also have their own channel, but BuzzFeed Unsolved was still going.
Well, that's always the thing with the IP. They can't take the IP.
Yeah, no, but they appeared on BuzzFeed.
I mean, they might be contractually
Unsolved.
obligated.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
It's weird.
Or they're just contractors.
Yeah, it's complicated with BuzzFeed. It's just...
Yeah.
But regardless, that show was awesome.
Yes.
but also the
Love
perfect
that
kind of show where I don't need to be watching it. Like I can just listen to it. It's you don't need to be watching BuzzFeed Unsolved. It's mostly just them talking.
Now, to be fair, during when I still was playing Final Fantasy XIV, I would sometimes listen to BuzzFeed Unsolved in the background and then sometimes I'd have to exit the game real quick because they're like showing a picture or something. I'm like, oh shoot, hold on, 1 sec.
Okay, no, so
Then go back.
The thing about me is my attention span isn't easily split like that, unless it's just like I'm listening to music, because I can sing a song and listen to someone talk at the same time. Really easily.
I can't do that.
No, it's pretty amazing. When we first started dating, it was really annoying because I was like, are you ignoring me?
No, I can.
He almost focuses better if he's singing and listening to you.
Weird.
Yeah, but I cannot like watch a video and listen to what they're saying and then like someone talk to me or like play a game or something.
No. That's the thing. I'm not having anybody talk to me.
Well, but Cheyenne is like that. She's talking to me and then something's on the TV and then like we're having a conversation and then we're done and she's like laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing at? She's like, oh, they just said all of this. I'm like, what? How the fuck did you just get that in your mind while you're talking to me?
I can't do that.
I used to read and watch TV at the same time.
But also at the same time, like her parents do that too. It's super weird.
I guess she had to learn that skill when growing up.
Yeah, like when we're eating dinner or something.
I can't.
I can't do both. They do both. I'm like, I feel.
I can't read things and like actually like read something and pay attention to something else. Right. Reading takes up 100% of my attention basically. Mm-hmm. So that's why like if I'm playing a game that has a lot of story, I don't do this. Mm-hmm. If I'm playing a game that has like a ton of reading, like realistically, when I'm doing random quests in ESO, there are definitely times where I'm just like X. Okay.
I never do that. I've never done that.
When I'm just doing like random quests in the world, I'll get a gist, but I can figure out what I need to do based on the directory things. The main area quests, I always pay attention to. Because those are like actually telling a story. But some of these it's like, you just rescued me from these bandits. Oh yeah. And I have lost a lockbox. Would you please retrieve it? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Let me just find the lockbox.
Well, to be fair, there's not a whole lot of those kind of like grindy quests that a lot of other MMOs have. That like, kill these many enemies, or like,
that I haven't really seen at all.
No, there's none of those quests. Or like what's the really fucking annoying ones? The escort quests. There's no escort quests either like this.
Yeah, no. All the quests feel like they deliver something for the story, no doubt. But sometimes I just don't care. It's like, look, I understand that this is like this locations quest. Mm-hmm. Then like by doing this, it'll like fill in the little location.
Yeah, that's what I like about that too. Is like every zone has a main quest, and then every city will have its own quest as well.
Yeah, and then not just cities, but like every area on the map has its own like quest.
Yeah, like every every
like point of interest. I think is what they call it.
Point of interest. Every point of interest will have its own quest line, and I'm like, and it's actually like a contained story.
It's a story. Like sometimes it's just one quest, sometimes it's like 2 or 3. But I like that. I really do. But sometimes I just don't care about what's actually going on in those. Sometimes you get the gist. But like when it's clear that it's important, when it's clear that like someone's trying to assassinate the king, like now I'm paying attention to the plot. That was a fun one.
That's a prologue quest for Greymore.
No, but it wasn't that one though. It was like a different like main story quest for my faction.
Oh, then actually I don't know it.
Yeah, I know you don't. But it's like, because I'm in Daggerfall and I was like, all thing going on, but I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's part of the Arius quest. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, oh shit, I prevented an assassination attempt after they were like, because I'm investigating all around the city and stuff, like finding like secret tunnels and like it was pretty fun.
Secret tunnel.
Avatar.
Whenever someone says secret tunnel, I think of that song.
Most people do now. But yeah, so we've gone way off track here. We're back on the ESO. No, but I've been, I have no problem when I'm just like wandering around fighting monsters, doing that sort of shit, listening to other stuff. So yeah, I basically binged all of BuzzFeed Unsolved. I didn't do Paranormal, because that I do want to watch, because it's much more them like going around, you're seeing stuff, you're like that sort of shit when they're like going to the houses and stuff. That I want to watch, so I've watched some of that. But it comes to like the true crime stuff, I'll just put it on the background. So but But the thing is, you say you need to like, pause the game, jump over. Because it's on my phone, I can just glance if there's a picture on there. I'm like, oh, okay.
Just get another monitor.
Well, sometimes I was watching some of that on my TV.
Tiny ass desk. You're coming to my house in a couple days. You'll kind of see my setup problems.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I have 3 monitors, and they're very condensed. Yeah. I don't have a lot of keyboard room or mouse room, but I deal with it.
Yeah, well, okay. The problem with my room, which you will also see, I don't have a lot of real estate to put things, which is a problem I realized after I set up my room. So it's like I have a lot of like tchotchke little random crap that I would sit on like desktops and things like that. A lot of which like I had in my old place that I don't have room for here because this is a much smaller room. I live in a tiny box that's at least attached to a house this time. But I have like my console where like my TV is. There's not a lot of places around there to fit shit. I have my bookshelf, which is currently where most of my stuff just sits on all of the shelves as I try and figure out places for them. And then there's my desk, which I'm trying to keep generally uncluttered. That's my problem. I have too much shit and not enough space.
Too much stuff, not enough space.
So, yeah, that. I don't remember how I got to this topic. Oh, monitors. I do want to get a second monitor, and I can rearrange my desk to fit 2 side by side. I cannot do 3 like you maniac. But
he can barely do 3.
I could not do 3. This is a tiny desk. It's like this one.
Technically, I own 5 monitors.
Oh my gosh.
No, sorry, 4. But 2 of them... No, one of them I found on the street. One of them was given to me that was supposed to be e-waste. And another one I bought at Goodwill.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I only really bought 1 new monitor.
Okay, like this hammering noise sounds like it's coming on the just like someone's hammering the side of my house.
Maybe they are.
I'll be right back.
Is your house on a hill? Is it haunted?
Are you sure you're hearing these things?
Also, Chase, I know you don't understand this. Hill House is not on a hill. It was owned by the Hill family, motherfucker.
Oh, that sounds dumb.
What? Okay.
Hey.
And when you watched it,
she was when you were gone. She was singing the Jeopardy like in between song. And she's like, I never really watched that show, maybe like once. I'm like, I watch that all the time.
Yeah,
He's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, somebody's in their front yard. My neighbor's in their front yard doing carpentry work. It looks like. I'm like, that seems like backyard stuff, but okay, buddy.
Hey, maybe they don't have space.
They definitely have space. I can like from my window, I can kind of see into their backyard a little bit. They have a huge backyard.
Okay.
And only part of it is taken up by the trampoline.
I want a trampoline.
Right? Trampolines are great.
I had a trampoline, but no, my cousin had a trampoline.
I ate shit on a trampoline once.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
Yeah.
If you weren't a kid, like if you were a kid and you had access to a trampoline, you weren't alive until you flew off that thing.
As an adult, I had a kid who didn't want to leave his trampoline, and so he threw a tantrum on said trampoline, and then tried to smack me, and that was a lot of work.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
To be fair, theirs had
I lied.
Or my cousins had a net around it, so you couldn't really fall off of it. But
no, my because when I was younger, I used to go to like because like one of the ladies in the neighborhood was also my buddy Matt, his aunt. She basically was that's how Matt and I met. But she was basically she like ran a babysitting service out of her house, and so there were a bunch of kids there all the time. But she had a trampoline without a net. And
that's cool.
But yeah, so it's a bunch of kids bouncing. People would go flying because of like the delayed bounce rocket maneuver. Everyone's favorite move on a trampoline. Occasionally can go astray, literally. But no, that was one of the 2 times I kind of like seriously hurt myself on that thing. Was like somebody bigger than me bounced and I flew off. It was like grass and it wasn't that bad and I rolled, but I was like, ow. The other time was like I was being a stupid shithead, and it was like one of those like plastic box little like playset things that like kids can get where you can like crawl up. There's like a little slide.
Yeah.
Kind of know what I'm talking about. Yeah, those things. I thought I was the smartest kid on earth because I'm like, I got good jump skills.
Oh,
and so I climbed up onto one of them and I climbed up onto like the wall of it, like the top wall of it, and I was going to jump over it. But because I'm a kid and I don't understand physics yet, so I push off, which sends it flipping up towards me. And I just like clothesline my stomach and just and I just choked myself out, knocked the wind out of me. And all of a sudden, like the babysitter, she comes running out as I'm just on the ground, like as this thing is like flipped over off on the side. It was this huge impact noise as I attacked myself with this giant like little playpen thing.
Jeez.
I was like, it was the first time I ever knocked the wind out of me. I thought I was dying. It was good times. Only one of 2 times I've ever had the wind knocked out of me in real life.
Yeah,
I don't know what the in real life statement meant in my life. In my fictional life, I get the wind knocked out of me all the time. Opposite Tuesday, Kyle ain't got no wind.
I don't know why you said that.
No one will.
All right. Did anything else happen?
Also, I am rereading the Stormlight Archives because I want to prepare for the new book coming out at the end of the year.
Oh.
And other than that, I did something else, but I don't remember what it is. Which is fun. And Cheyenne, what have you been up to this week?
Not knowing when I was gonna get off work because of curfews.
That's fun.
Yeah. Also been playing Animal Crossing. I now have a second story. Woohoo! And my
The story ended?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Speaking of stories, I was contemplating whether or not I should reread Twilight because of the new book.
Don't do it.
I don't want to do it.
Don't do it.
I started to look at it and I was like, never mind. But speaking of...
say,
oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, speaking of like rereading books, seriously, for anybody who hasn't read the Stormlight Archives, read those goddamn books. They're so fucking good. Some of my favorite fantasy out there. I'm just saying, Brandon Sanderson's a goddamn genius.
My fantasy's consistent. I'm kidding.
Actually, before you read the Stormlight Archives, because there are a lot, read the Mistborn trilogy. They're great too.
Do I know that name? I feel like I might know it from you.
Also, I have to give these back to our subscriber Sam.
Hi, Sam.
These are yours, Sam. I found them in boxes. I need to give these back to you. These books are fucking great.
Shine, do you have anything else to say? You're gonna say something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I have to get tested for allergies.
Oh, yeah.
Because my allergies are really
Insurance
bad.
is dumb. Actually, no, the whole medical system is dumb.
Well, to be fair.
Really, medicine is dumb.
Yeah.
Really, health is stupid. Really, living is garbage. Like, let's just...
It's garbage. My specific problem is with, like, my regular care doctor's office is that it seems like no one knows how to do their job. Just, like, the very basics of their job.
Like, hey, I'm gonna send this information over to this place, and you go get your blood tested there. She goes to get her blood taken. Oh, they never sent us anything.
Yeah, multiple times. I called multiple times, and then I'd have to call the place where I'm supposed to get tested, and then they're like, "No, it's not here." And then I have to call the office again, and then I'm on hold for like an hour, and they're like, "Oh, what can I do for you?" "Oh, I don't know how to do that. Let me transfer you to someone else." I'm like, why are you here? Why?
Primary care doctors.
Yeah, I was going to say, why the fuck are you still with them?
Because, like, insurance and stuff.
I mean, you can find another in-network.
Other doctors with insurance.
No, my doctor is fine. It's their office that sucks.
That's the incompetent part.
Unfortunately, that is a part of what you're getting when you sign up for a fucking doctor. It's also the place they work, and it's unfortunate if you like your doctor and the place they work for sucks.
You should tell
that
them, hey,
still means the service sucks.
You want to leave here and go practice
somewhere that isn't garbage? How's that sound?
That's hard to say though, because like So my mom has cancer. So like she deals with a lot of everything.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Bullshit.
See, her problem's not just the office, this doctor's office, because we have the same doctor. She also has a problem with the insurance and then all the specialty doctors. Like, no one knows how to do their job. It feels like that's just a requirement in the medical field.
Don't know how
like,
to do
if you work in the office, like you're an office person,
you incompetent?
you don't know how to do this job.
I would agree with you, except I've definitely gone to doctors where their shit was together.
Yeah, no, it's like
they knew their.
No, it's like the doctors themselves. They know what they're doing.
I'm saying like doctors' offices and like places and like hospitals and stuff where their shit is together, and like I don't have these problems. That's when I start going to those places. And like, to be fair, like you're saying like your mom has things way worse than you. Obviously, yes, but that doesn't belittle the annoyances that you're dealing with.
Oh no,
like,
I'm just saying this is a pattern.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, I still had problems, but like this is a pattern with multiple places and with multiple insurances. We've had more than one type of medical insurance. It's the same problem.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Things were decent when I was with Kaiser. But like Kaiser had whole other bunches of problems that weren't like communication issues.
No, this is like strictly communication issues.
That are a big deal.
Like,
waste
these are
your time.
These are major.
Days.
Yeah.
Because okay, so actually the first time was she went to go take her blood, blood get drawn. What sentences?
Words.
And then she like, you called to like follow up, right, with the other like with the test or something, but then you found out that.
Oh no, so they called me. My doctor's office was like, "Oh, you didn't finish taking all your tests." I'm like, "What?" I did what the place told me to do. And they're like, "Oh no, but you still have to do 2 more." And I'm like, "Well, they didn't have that information."
What the fuck?
And I was like, "So what am I supposed to do?" "Oh, I'm not sure. I was just told to tell you still have 2 more to take." And I'm like, "So why are you calling me?" She couldn't even tell me what tests I still needed to take.
And then at that point was the point when then she went back, or like she wanted to go back to get her blood taken. Oh, you went back.
Yeah, I went back.
And then they're like, "Oh," because she told them, "Okay, I'll go back."
But no, I asked them to send it again.
Send the information over so they know what tests to take. And she goes over there and they're like, "Oh, we don't know what you're talking about. We don't have anything."
Yeah, and so I had to call again. And then, like, no one could, even the actual doctor's office is like, "Well, we see that you took a test. We don't know which test you took, so we can't help you right now until the results are done." And I'm like, "But I have a letter that has the results."
I have the results. Why don't you?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Like,
you know what? Say what you will about dentists. At least I do everything there. No.
Yeah, that's true. Never had a problem with the dentist.
Not like that.
Well, I have.
Oh.
I just got a bill for like $300, even though they said my insurance covered the fucking shit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I love that.
No, it would have been twice as much because it's deep cleanings.
Well, yeah.
And it was 1 out of 4, and I did 2 out of 4 before the coronavirus hit, and they closed down. And then I got billed for those 2, and I'm like, I'm not doing the other 2. Fuckers.
You.
Oh, should go to my ate. She'll charge you less.
Yeah.
One of my aunts is a dentist.
Very helpful to have in the family.
Yeah.
Is she a good dentist?
She is, though.
No, but she'll do it on the cheap.
She's a Filipino dentist.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a common thing. It's a thing.
I know. Trust me. My last dentist was Filipino.
Oh, like all of my dentists have always been Filipino.
And like your mom?
Okay, that's different. My mom didn't finish. She didn't transfer her stuff.
No, she finished. She just didn't transfer her credentials
when she came to America, she's like, "No, I don't want to go through the credentials," because all she had to do was take a test, but she didn't want to.
Too much
I get
work.
that.
I'll just take a lesser paying job.
Yeah.
I get it. Totally.
Yeah.
100%. Oh, man.
I think we don't have anything else to talk about.
Yeah, I think we've tapped ourselves out.
So we could probably end the podcast here. Thank you for sticking through
it. All this has become anymore is just us catching up and using it as an excuse about
to be fair, there's like no news. There's nothing really happening in the world right
there's
now.
nothing happening in the world right now.
There's nothing happening in the entertainment space.
No, the world, yes, but we don't want to just get super in the weeds. We touched on that last week for quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's not what our podcast is going to become. That was just, we had to address it. But yeah, in the entertainment world, there's nothing. We would have had something big to talk about, but the rest of the world decided that, no, this is more important, and they're right. And so that thing got canceled. And so
the PlayStation 5 is canceled.
Yep, it's never coming out, guys. They've decided to scrap the whole idea and start fresh.
PS6.
PS6 coming soon.
It's like you scrapped Windows 9 and just went straight to Windows 10.
Windows 10, yeah. By the time we finished building the PS5 and speccing it out, we decided that we wanted something better. So we just decided to make the PS6. We're speccing that out. By the time we're almost done with that, we'll probably decide we want something better, and we'll probably just make the PlayStation 7. And then, you know what? We're just going to build a fucking computer. And you can upgrade it yourself. Fuck you!
All right, thank you for joining, everybody. We'll see you next week. I would say let us know your thoughts on blank, but we didn't.
Let us know your thoughts on Elder Scrolls Online.
Exactly.
Or maybe if you've played MMOs and you recommend one for us, we might give it a shot. I've played a decent number over the years.
I made a list. I was running out of lists.
Have you checked it twice, though?
No. Well, because, I've played, like, Arcade Online, Guild Wars 2, what's the one with the... There's another Eastern one I also played recently. Final Fantasy XIV, Elder Scrolls Online, Star Wars: The Old Republic.
I've been having this weird desire to go back to Star Wars: The Old Republic.
They like overhauled it. They like revamped everything. Apparently,
we should go back and play Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Because I saw someone streaming it, and I was like, "This is not the game that I played."
I was gonna say, stream it.
Like we probably can. Even the character creation and stuff. Like I'm just like, this looks way better. Like I think graphically and like mechanically, I think.
Yeah. I think part of that was also me playing ESO, not because ESO was bad and like, I wish I was playing a different MMO.
Yeah.
It was more just like, I do like how so many of the quest lines can end with you like making like a choice. That, it's like, and it's not just like black or white morality. It's like a lot of like gray complications. Like I do enjoy that. It makes me think. Yeah. There's not like huge ramifications to those choices commonly, but it, it kind of personalizes it a little bit, which just reminded me of how much I enjoyed playing fucking the Old Republic, which
the big system is light side versus dark side.
Yeah, light side versus dark side, and like you making constant choices and stuff, and which was fun. I liked that. I liked how much I felt like I was able to actually craft a character in that game. Especially because they were fully voice acted.
Toontown Online.
Toontown.
Wizards 101.
Wizards 101. I love both of those. Wizard 101.
Wizards the Waverly Place? What? No.
Did you play RuneScape?
Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates
on that one?
Pirates Online.
Did you ever play Maple Story?
Maple Story. World of Warcraft. I did play.
Yeah.
I kept dying because my computer was really like not made for that game.
Yeah.
So every time I was in a battle, I was like, okay, I'm clicking, nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden I was dead. I'm like, what?
Rift. Talk about your
sad.
Rift is the one I was thinking about.
Talk about your favorite MMO that you've ever played, and if you haven't played an MMO,
try it.
Never mind then. Be gone. Then
be gone.
Oh no! I always hold tight to Wizards 101 or Wizard 101. What is it? I don't know.
It's pluralized. It's Wizards 101.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident.
I had like 3 different characters.
Wow.
I mean,
I remember playing Toontown.
Toontown was great.
Did you ever play Pirates Online?
That one was really glitchy.
Was it? I mean, I was really fun.
I don't know. I played that one when my family still had an actual PC. That's how old that game was. But it was like it.
I mean, that's how old the game is. I still have a PC. What?
No. Like my family hasn't had a PC in a long time.
Anything to anybody though.
But it's true.
Another kind of MMO game I played, Puzzle Pirates. There was my pirate game.
Was the Nickelodeon one considered an MMO?
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's an MMORPG, but.
Oh, okay.
I
barely remember the game.
I'm still waiting for New World.
It's not happening, man. That definitely got pushed back a ways.
It did. And then also, there's one that's really big that I've been waiting for.
The Harry Potter one?
No. Wait, I mean, no, I was gonna go on Discord, but I realized we're recording through Discord.
Yeah, we
I
are.
have the Discord. No, I do want to mention that though.
It doesn't matter.
Right here.
There are a lot of MMOs.
What the hell? My phone does not connect.
You can add it later.
Whatever.
Yeah, you can just add it in post.
Oh, wait, no, it's in my brain.
And now it's out of your brain.
It's in my brains. That's out of my brains.
Crawling into your brain.
Fuck. Okay, whatever. I won't mention it.
Yeah, because you can't.
I forgot it. I can't.
You can't just add it in post when you're editing the podcast.
I don't want to.
Okay, fair enough. I get that. I understand that mood. Oh, one last thing I did this week.
Okay.
I played a horrible video game. You guys will see more of that probably actually before you see this.
So if you haven't watched it already, go watch it.
But I'm saving that for the video. Like,
Yeah.
I played possibly the worst video game I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
Video coming soon.
It's
/
not
already
terrible.
happened.
All right.
You saw it.
Let's stop.
Let's stop.
Oh, one more thing. No, I'm kidding.
My name is Chase.
My name is Kyle.
I'm Cheyenne. Bye.
Bye.
If you like this, make sure to like and subscribe.